Hello everybody, really short one for you today. We have got the chance to get a first look at the new Fallout Wasteland Warfare RPG book, and also we've been fortunate enough on the day that they are due to be released to be able to get a hands-on look at the Fallout Wasteland Warfare second wave of miniatures, the Raiders, for your tabletop game as well. Now, the Fallout Wasteland Warfare RPG game can be used just with Theatre of the Mind. But it does add an extra dimension by allowing you to use the miniatures from the Fallout game into the scenarios that you play through. So one of the most common ways of playing this game, I think, is going to be using the playmats for the different sort of zones within Fallout, the areas of the... a lot of people will be using like the playmat from the core set or the Red Rocket playmat, the slightly nicer neoprene one, and putting bits of scenery, bits of scatter terrain, stuff like the barricades on there, and more product plugs like the junkyard barricades and things, just to add scenery, to make it a little bit more accessible for some people who maybe aren't as comfortable with traditional D&D like some of us are. Now, the Fallout Wasteland Warfare RPG book, having had a look through it just now and having had access to the PDF a few weeks ago, is incredibly thorough. It contains pretty much everything you would expect from something based on the Fallout universe, and Modiphius have been doing a really good job lately of taking these IPs and turning them into tabletop games. So they've done very similar with the Infinity universe, which is a fantastic looking RPG. We've had to play with rolling up characters on that. They've done a really good job of supporting these IPs as well. So, for example, the Infinity RPG has the app which lets you facilitate the rolling up of the character all on the computer, which actually makes it a bit more accessible to a lot of people, which is only a good thing when it comes to this hobby. Anyway, the Fallout role-playing game, the book itself is really beautifully done, very thorough, and lots of colour artwork in there. Having a look through it gives you a nice introduction to like the capital Wasteland, the Brotherhood of Steel, all the different factions. It talks you through the Raiders, and obviously this is where the Raiders will come in useful for myself specifically, because when myself and the other goblins play through some of these RPG scenarios which we have in the pipeline, I will be controlling I'll be taking on the role of the Overseer. I will be controlling the NPCs, if you like. I will be controlling the raiders that they fight, and the first scenario, which I'll talk you through shortly. Loads of information about the Enclave, the Minutemen, how to create and roll up your character is in here. It's quite detailed, and it's going to help to, and this is really cool as well, Modiphius provide the character sheet templates absolutely free. And if you hop onto their Facebook groups, there's often resources already. There are custom templates in PDF, paint shop format, which the more sort of tech savvy you can edit to make your character sheets. Those resources are brilliant to have for completely free as well. When you buy this book as well, you get a code for a PDF copy of the book. Sorry if it disappeared then. You get a code for a PDF copy of this book too, which is really handy to have, because that PDF copy is fully interactive, so it's got the search functions to make speeding through this easier. But if you're like me, you like the feel of the paper. So yeah, there's so much. It gives you like the use, if you're playing tabletop, how to utilize the stuff from the core kit, so you can actually do measurements and stuff like that. But to be honest, when we play this, we'll be doing a bit of a mishmash of both. We'll be using miniatures. Might be sort of using measuring. It'll be down to keep what I feel will make a more fluid game. It will take a little bit more of the classic D&D approach, where I'll be behind the board controlling a lot of stuff, and I say you're in range or you're not in range. I don't want people measuring during my D&D campaign for the purist in me. But also the geek in me that likes toys is really keen to play with the Fallout stuff. I will say that you do have to, as well as the book, invest in some of the Fallout dice as well, because they're special D20s with specifics on them relating to rolling out of skills. But these aren't expensive, and as usual with Goblin, all of this is available through the Goblin Gaming website to buy next day delivery. This is all pre-order stuff at the moment, but is available for ordering as of when this video goes out as well. So yeah, it gives you a huge amount of detail from turning what is essentially the tabletop game into a more narrative-driven game. So this is really cool. I'm really excited to see this. The section on the Overseer, I'm going to keep hidden from you guys because I don't want anyone in Goblin to see this yet. And some of these pages you don't want to know either. But The first mission, the sample mission to get people into the game that comes in this book, is the story of Mr. Parzival, the insane handy robot who's on a quest to find something. So I'm going to be getting the goblins involved in this to roll up their characters. They're Wasteland survivors. Depends what they can play robots if they want. There are rules for rolling up robots with skills. There are rules for playing as ghouls. So who knows what they're going to come up with. And their first scenario that this book is going to take us through, which I will be being the overseer for, is going to utilise the Raider core box, because the very first scenario sees them rescuing an absolutely insane Mr. Handy robot who is on this quest, as I mentioned. So he needs to be painted up in a very specific paint scheme for this character, which is going to make him look horrendous, but I'm going to do it anyway. And fighting a group of raiders, and also freeing a load of Wasteland survivors. So you can see how the units start to, the models start to play into the actual tabletop RPG. Now, if you don't want to, you don't need any of those extra things. You can, like I said, use theatre of the mind. You could use pen and paper, anything that you traditional D&D players are used to. I use each and everything. So that's the RPG book as a quick glance. It takes you through these nice introductory missions that basically take you from a Wasteland survivor to finding your way to Diamond City in the capital Wastelands and moving a bit further. Anyway, this box is what quite a lot of people will be interested in, because this wave of releases by Modiphius is, I believe, the first time they've introduced more of the Wasteland Raiders as a faction. So there's now a core box for them, which contains 7 raiders, one of which is cool and in power armor, some scavengers and some psycho raiders. Well, there's them on the back as well. And as usual, these come on really awesome little sprues with the part that I like the most, the fact that the bases, if I just put it in front of my hand, are sculpted as well. That saves a lot of time when making these look nice. I really like the resin that Modiphius have gone for. So that's the power armor wearing raider. This is probably my favourite. She needs a bit of cleaning up, but the pigtailed, is the best place for me to hold that. The pigtailed psycho raider chick as well. Then you've got your standard raider with what appears to be a double barrel shotgun. A couple of them in like spiked raider armor, all again with molded bases. Some more lightweight armor. The one with a weird face mask, which makes him look like he might be just like a ghoul in hiding. Not entirely sure. And finally another one with a sort of an assault weapon. Now, the nice thing about the RPG as well, although I've just put the books over here, is it gives you, because obviously these new expansion boxes don't necessarily come with the cards. The Raider box doesn't come with cards, but we do get all of the stat lines for these raiders that you're going to be using in the tabletop, and how to lay out the map if you're actually using a map, if you're using a tabletop, or if you're drawing one for your campaign group. So, with that all in mind, and that box thoroughly opened, I opened it before I came on camera, sorry I couldn't contain myself. That's all you need to know really about the new Fallout box. So, amazing resins, sculpted bases, which I'm really happy about. Very affordable box of 7, same price as everything else that's been in the line, and a full RPG book to make this more of a narrative-driven game now, rather than just the tabletop, for like under £20, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited to get my hands on these. I'm excited to put these together and give the rest of the guys at Goblin a chance to play the RPG. Mostly though, I'm just really looking forward to messing with them as a crazy, absolutely eccentric Mr. Handy robot.